Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. We're live with Dignitas versus Mouz, game number 2 in this best of 3. Dignitas currently leading 1-0, and it is in fact an elimination match. For those who haven't heard, if Dignitas go on to win this game, Mouz Sports, their run will end here, and they will join the likes of Kaipi, who were already knocked out earlier today by Team Liquid in a clean 2-0 sweep. It was domination from Dignitas in game 1, 14-1 in 19 minutes, one of the most lopsided games I have seen in recent memory. And for Mouz Sports, they will turn to a combination that was their answer against Na'Vi for the WePlay.tv Dota 2 League when they ran this Kodal PL Magnus. Will it be the answer, the recipe for success versus Dignitas? That's what we have Lumi here for. Lumi, what do you think?
It depends on whether Team Dignitas go into the Templar Assassin. They've had the opening to do so. I talked about Darkster being such a good combo. It seems like TA has, I don't want to say have Magnus's number. I feel like Empower should definitely give you the edge in that lane matchup. But I see TA winning against Magnus all day long, all night long. And I imagine that Team Dignitas will go into it. And that's a hero when Surge Up, just go straight in, kill your keeper easily, and just goes on and kill everybody else. I feel like if you have an explosive start, Team Dignitas generally do, you definitely could win the game.
I'm not sure if Magnus actually straight up wins the matchup, but I definitely agree with you that he should get a decent amount and probably more than what TA would like out of the lane because he's got Shockwave to spam and, like you mentioned, Empower helps you to last hit at the early levels. Later on, Refraction gives you too much damage for Empower to really compete, but by that point you have Shockwave leveled 3, say, and it should at least be a lane where Magnus gets some decent farm and levels, but credit Snake King for just dominating that middle lane time and again. And for Mouz Sports, when they go Kodal PL, sure, you have your late game solidly locked up. The issue is going to be, don't have the best ganking combo, no matter what they go for with that final pick as their secondary support. They already have Keeper of the Light. Ganks from TA are going to be very, very unlikely and very difficult at that, so they've already assured Snake King a relatively easy 1v1 by going for this Keeper of the Light. And from here on out, Dignitas, same bans. They're going to ban the counter-pushing supports and also the Dignitas special with the Alchemist. Neither will be available to them.
Yeah, not only are they good at counter pushing, one thing I also noticed is that these are the more common DOT heroes as Liquefier, Dual Breath, as well as Acid Spray. Generally very, very good way to knock away TA shields. So I wonder if there's anything besides that from the pool. I guess Ignite from Ogre Magi is one thing.
There's Shadow Poison, which is actually pretty decent. Each poison removes 2 refraction charges, so.
Right, I'm very surprised to see ST kind of fallen into the wayside. Not many teams pick it. It's like a ST Lina combo. That's it. We don't see it anymore. I'm kind of sad. I feel like this is a very, very good hero.
Yeah, I think it's still worth a pick in certain situations, but Mouz will go for Clockwork, and this is a hero that can give the TA fits, not because you're likely to kill her, but simply because she's not killing your team when she's cogged. And at the same time, if your cogs are there at the wrong time, if TA's far enough ahead, she just turns around and kills you. So can be an interesting little dichotomy between these two, and we'll see if the Clockwork can find success. Now, the one issue with this hero, when you pick him as an offlaner Lumi, if he doesn't have a good start, there's nothing for him to do. He can't go into the jungle. He's not a hero that can really gank effectively at the early levels. So we'll see what Dignitas pick, but it may be a Clockwork that just gets shut down in the laning stage and has no plan B if they play their cards right.
But even if you get shut down in a team fight, all you have to do is lay down cogs, and that will give Templar Assassin and Tiny hitsy fits because don't matter if you're Surge, you'll just bounce around those cogs, and both these heroes needs a ton of mana, so we'll see how it goes. I like the Tiny pick up here simply because you know Mouz won't go offensive trial lane, and generally Ali, he kind of fails when there's offensive trial lane against his Tiny. I think yesterday he just went Tiny Wisp straight up. Remember that game against Na'Vi?
Yeah.
And Na'Vi says, yeah, we'll offensive trial lane you, and games get hard.
Well, they ended up just dual laning mid that game, so it wasn't against the offensive trialing, but it was a lot of aggression from Na'Vi in general, and I just felt like Na'Vi kind of had Dignitas' number with the draft in the lanes that game, and we saw the Treant. The Treant was the other problem. Didn't really do a whole lot after the laning stage, but you're right about the Tiny and the cogs, and I think that's really the key point here is they can completely shut him down, and Mouz will go for another hero that can provide some control in the fights. It's a Lion, and I like this pick. I think this is the way to go. Go for a support that, sure, you can't roam and gank on the TA early, but you'll have a much scarier mid-game, a much scarier late game with one of the strongest scaling supports in a Lion.
I think it's okay. I mean, generally, I like the hero quite a bit. One of my favorite heroes. I see Fluff and stuff playing him quite a bit. But, I mean, a big bursty support against Templar, I don't know. He pops 3 frag and he just goes on you. Bring it. And Lion just have to run because what are you going to do? Blow a finger on a refracting charge?
That's what Hex is for, right? I mean, you Hex the TA,
you Hex and
you cog him in, you shockwave
No.
him.
You Hex the TA and the hasted sheep with Iron Shell runs at you and he still says, "Oh, right, fuck, I can't. There's nothing I can do."
Yeah, if he gets caught like that, but if he gets caught like that, they're probably losing the fight anyway, regardless of what support the line is. So.
Well, that's definitely. Well, if you have disruption, then you disrupt and you run like hell. But I digress. Way Too Sexy is gonna be Enigma is gonna be the last pickup here, and I like that pickup a lot more because I think one of his common item choice that he likes to go on that Enigma is Necro 3, and having that against the PL is definitely pretty good. Not only does it give you that true sight, it also increase your movement speed, which allows you to chase down some of these slower heroes like Lion, like Hipper, and like that PL as well.
So, very true, and something you and I were having a good chuckle about yesterday, Lumi, is how there was barely a black hole that game. I think we saw one black hole, and it was after the game was essentially over for Dignitas, but I think that was the game where they calmly beat Na'Vi in the best of 3, but in the end, it just shows that Enigma is not about the black hole. The black hole, at least not in all cases, it can be a game-changing spell, but you don't need to hit big black holes for this hero to have a huge impact, and that was one of the interesting things we saw in that game, and I thought it was pretty funny that you don't even have a black hole, no problem. Just the Necro the Enigma constantly pressuring all the lanes, but I digress as well. On the side of Dignitas, Way Too Sexy, gonna be handling that Enigma, saving quite a bit of gold, I imagine, for his early Soul Ring. Snake King, the King, he's calling himself. Very modest, that one, on the TA. Rushing a bottle, and he has been pulled a healing salve by Way Too. As for Fox, he'll be back on the Rubik, reprising his role. Can he seal RP and Skewer again and be flashy? We'll see. AUI 2000 on that safe lane Tiny, expecting nothing really in the way of aggression, as he's got that Quelling Blade early on and no Stout Shield or anything like that. And last but not least, we'll have Universe playing the Darkseer in the off lane.
You on Mouseboard, one lose away here from elimination. On the top lane is going to be Qualifier, going to be playing the Clockwork. On the mid, it's going to be Fada, Broken Hand Gaming. On the Magnus, we do see Alex getting a little bit tank up, a little bit of warding, dewarding action, maybe trying to get that dewar up, but Fog's just like, come back later, man. I'm going to harass you away. Alex will be playing on the Keeper of Light. His companion on the bot lane here is going to be Black playing the Phantom Lancer. And last but not least, we have Pas playing the Lion here, looking to do a little bit of tunneling, pulling. Might be somewhat difficult to do it against the Darkseer because you gotta be afraid. He could always walk in the jungle and just steal your camp.
This is pretty unfortunate for Mouse. Not having the Rupee here at level 1. Universe gets level 2. He'll have Iron Shell and Surge, and then they really can't kill him for quite some time. So they give him one of the least contested level 2s you'll ever see. And I mean, it's the downside of that Lion pick is if the Keeper of the Light's there, at least he can illuminate him and cause some harassment. You're not going to drive him off the lane, but when you have a Lion as that other support, and something we didn't really talk about during the draft, Lion does nothing to keep Darkseer out of the lane.
Yeah, I guess one thing that you can do is just impale and do set up that illuminate, maybe a little bit of an impale into a mana drain combo to annoy the Darkseer a little bit, but he doesn't really care. He pulls a creep wave away, no pulling for you, Lion, and then he will just Iron Shell this very easily.
Oh, the nice thing for Mouse is they've made a little adjustment of their own to try and get some extra golden experiences. Alex is going to actually be stacking and farming the small camp, and up on the top lane, Koikfa doing what he can to harass AUI 2000. All the mana gone. Nice use of the cogs there. And so I gotta say, for Mouse Sports, the good thing for them is sure there's a jungle Enigma, but Mouse is doing as much as they can, and I think a lot more than what they did last game, to keep themselves in the fight when it comes to just that early golden experience advantage. And looking at experience and gold, it is dipping towards Dignitas. I expect it will continue to, with Enigma in the jungle and Darkseer getting a lot out of the offlane. But I don't think it'll necessarily be as bad as what it was in Game 1.
Yeah, definitely, and you can see the supports are putting so much more effort in terms of jungling, and I like the fact that Pas is getting most of this EXP. Look at the tunnel through, they're going to look for a little bit more. It definitely takes a little bit of practice and training to make these tunnel through work, as well as making these stacks work, but when you get it right, your supports could kind of propel themselves into a quick level 5 and 6, and for a hero like Lion, that's really what he wants.
And since they've rotated this Keeper of the Light down, doing what they can to slow down Universe, they're not going to be able to keep him out of lane, but if you can at least limit his farm, his experience a little bit here and there, while focusing most and foremost on getting the levels on the Lion, once the Lion hits, say, level 5, that's where Darkseer gets a little bit nervous, because then you have a level 3 Impale, you've got the Hex, and even now, they may look to go on him. A Lance for Black could be the way to start this off. He's taking double Iron Shell damage, there will be a Lance thrown out, and Universe, he's got that Surge, but it's only level 1, there's no Impale, though, because Pas in the end ran around the other way. If he was sitting from behind, would have probably been our first blood with a full Illuminate charge and a well-timed Impale, but in the end, well, he'll go again. But this time, Universe, he's salved up, so unlikely to die.
I mean, Universe could always run to the left if Pass is coming from behind. That's exactly what we see. There's, oh my goodness!
That's not a good Impale.
I'm not sure who has the broken hand gaming because Pass just missed a targeted stun. The Mana Drain will actually get the deal. Whoa, Black has to be careful.
Oh, it's
and now
first
he's going
blood.
to fight his way out. We don't expect Mana Leak. You don't ever expect Mana Leak level 3. But hey, got them that kill. Very nicely played.
Yeah, like you said, just an unusual skill choice there, and showing that Darkseer is mortal. A hero that doesn't die easily, but for the Universe, only level 1 Surge, much easier to bring down. If he has a level 2 Surge in most of these cases, he'll be able to get out. The extra duration really makes the difference, and well, in this case he dies, he'll come right back and start farming. The bad news for Dignitas, or for Mouz, is sure they get that kill, they blow almost all of their regen doing it, and now Universe can be even more obnoxious with that harassment.
Yeah, he's going to try to steal a couple creeps here and there, maybe drive Pass out of the lane. Looks like both of them are racing towards a 4-minute rune, and we'll see exactly if it's going to spawn there. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Qualifier is getting a ton of experience here, leveling up Rocket Flare, which is, I want to say, standard, generally. Lion looks like has a double damage bot, and I think this could be another kill attempt here. Universe completely unsuspecting of this, and could be in big trouble.
Universe is not really the flashiest or most aggressive offlane player, but he's a player that very rarely dies, and well, he'll surge right now. I was going to say, if he ends up dying twice in the laning stage, that would be pretty much a first for me as far as casting Dignitas. He isn't, like I said, not always the most explosive, but someone who just rarely gives up those kills. And he may even go into his own jungle, just feeling like, sure, I can maybe get something out of this lane. I'm not really doing a whole lot to slow down Black, and the risk of me dying isn't worth it. And I think it's a fine choice from him if he chooses to. Well, in the end, maybe he just wants to find a kill mid.
Yeah. TA, though, that's doing quite all right. 25 CS. Magnus a little bit behind. Again, this is a continuous story that we see Magnus, for whatever reason, gets outlaned by a Templar, and we'll see it again.
I don't think it's a surprise he gets outlaned. I think it's just the nature of the matchup. But, you know, for me, the big problem is if he dies. And so far, Fata, no deaths to his name, is farming reasonably well. I mean, you look at Refraction, you're getting plus 60 damage. Sure, Magnus, he gets a couple, even if he goes in power, he's not going to outlast hit that, and Shockwave spam isn't going to harass the TA, so I'm not really surprised that Snake King is winning the matchup. I think it's more just about, can Fata use his RP effectively? Because last game, the RP was not effective. They used it with 3 heroes, didn't find a kill, and obviously that was a team decision, not just Fata's, but we'll need to see some RPs that actually do some work in these fights.
Yeah, I always, it confuses me when I see the RP on a fully refracted Templar Assassin. Why even make that go? Maybe you should have right-clicked him a couple of times to drain that charge first, but we'll see if there's going to be better RP this game. Snake King looking very poised, bottle crawling, allowing multiple refraction usage, and still farming away.
Yeah, he's gone Treads again, which is really the better boot choice in most cases nowadays, is you could just be more efficient with those bottle charges and not have to bottle crow quite as much. He'll go in now on Fata. He's got a trap here. If he gets that one off and he drops another, this could be... Well, no, not going to go for the kill. No RP was there. I think Snakey maybe didn't see Fata's mana, because I think he actually could have gotten that kill, but in the end, Koikfa is lurking at top room. They found Snakey. There's your battery assault. He does have meld available, and the RP is going to be dropped, but he got the refraction off the battery assault, quickly removing those charges, but battery assault does not hit his invisible units, and now Snakey, he'll actually come out of his meld. A black hole deployed on 2, canceled by Paz, and a timely rotation in. Fata wants that killing shockwave. It doesn't have the mana for it. Universe is joining the fight as well. Suddenly, it's everybody and their mother in this middle lane. Koikfa just got his hook. Just skilled it. One more hit. Double kill for him. They want Fog too. They may well get him. There's your Impale. What is this Lion doing? So much work in these gangs. Triple kill for Koikfa. Remember, Black is just farming happily bottom lane this entire time. Universe looking for a trade of his own. He's got a surge. Niz gonna drop it now. Pass. No mana. He runs up and down the cliff. The jukes on this one. The Nikes are strong. Oh, what a play. The chase is here from Snake King. He's on the hunt. Pass lurking. Juking. He's got 2 stick charges. He needs, I think, 1 or 2. No, he's got it now. He'll actually pop his 1. No, not just yet. In the end, the Cogs keep them alive, and the score, all of a sudden, 4-1.
Meanwhile, Aoi comes out here. Aoi gets skewered backward. He gets impaled. Avalanche puts him about 15 HP, but not gonna get the kill. And now Lion baits out yet another kill. I talked about using RP when, you know, the refraction's up. He used it, but there was 3 or 4 creep waves. Creeps, and those creeps immediately blew away those refraction, and that's how the team fight started. Immediately when Snake King is removed from the team fight, you don't get the burst damage, you don't get the continuous amount of slows, and that's how the team fight was won for me, for Mouzsport. And of course, man, those impales they were hitting on point, canceling that black hole, getting another kill here against, I think it was the Darkseer later on. Yeah, it was just really, really well played from Mouz for supports.
Lion's a lot like Vengeful Spirit. Not the strongest lane support, but a really underrated ganker. We saw it there. Impale, a spammable AoE stun. Hell yes, I want to be using that in these fights. And great movement for Mouz in the early game. And now, game 1, a lead of 1,500 gold on Dignitas. Mouz currently topping the gold chart, topping the experience chart as well, albeit by only about 500. And with Black Hole down, they can feel a little bit more confident now. They have their RP, they're going to smoke up, they're going to look to go top. If Black Hole is online, I don't think they do this gank. It would be very risky at that, but they have Hook, they have RP, and this could easily be a kill in AUI. That would be 2 in a row. 2 quick deaths. The Hook is here, the Cogs will follow, and this is just no way out. They're going to have Figure of Death now, they do. And that means they can go for yet another gank. And by the time this next gank is done, Lumi, it could easily be 7-1, if not more, to start this game.
Yeah, not only do they have Finger of Death, they have Arcane Boots up on the line. Arcane Boot generally, I don't want to say a prerequisite of having good line game, but a very, very big necessity, as definitely has enough mana right now. Black Hole still cooldown for a long while, as it's one, if not the highest cooldown spell in the entire game, ultimate spell at least. And I think that's
Bottom
the case,
lane.
yeah.
Bottom lane, we're going to make it go on Universe now. Black actually throws it in, but they don't know the invisible Snakecane is here. Unfortunately, Snakecane is going to wait a while to come back out, and while that's happening, Alex probably going to die. He tries to recall someone back. He dies immediately and blows his ult in doing so. Meanwhile, top lane, Fata skewers on in. Fogged. Oh, cute. Cute little play from him. Steals the skewer. Here comes the teleport from Snakecane.
Oh, gotta be very careful. Fata is on the run. Meanwhile, Finger of Death is gonna be used, but the toss not gonna fit. But they're gonna get the kill here eventually against Way Too Sexy. Snake King's here, but you can't really go into a clockwork like that as he's draining away Refraction Charge. RP on top, whole bunch of nukes against Snake King, and the Snake King about to be the Fallen King as he's dead. Meanwhile, Universe with the Iron Shell, he's gonna get the kill on Fata. Not if he skewers away. Where's the bottle charges? He's gonna try to TP out, and I think he's gonna make it out alive. They want Toss,
Universe.
but a teammate Impale, and the Cogs to follow through. Toss forward here, but I don't know. Universe team, you don't toss me in like that. And Aoi just tosses friend to the death.
He surged himself. I really felt he should have surged AUI there. AUI had the combo. He had the avalanche cooling down in about 4 seconds. He already had toss ready. I think AUI could have gotten a double, but Universe surged himself in with no vacuum. I feel like if they just sent AUI in first, that's easily 1, if not 2 kills.
Well, the Cogs would have just pushed him back, so I'm not sure if AUI could have made that big loop around
Depends.
or not.
It depends. If you toss real quickly, that can even go off before the Cogs are there. So
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it would come down to the reactions and the decision making, but Universe going in first, I just don't see how they were ever going to find the kills that way, and in the end, ends up giving away his life doing so, and 10-2. I mean, I said it could easily be 7-1. Now it's 10-2. This game is just not going according to expectation, and we're seeing 4v5 Dota right now. Mouz has just been, or Black has just been, funny little Freudian slip there perhaps, Black has just been in his own little universe farming bottom lane, now has his drums picked up, and I think it's a game where you just go Diffusal. If he can start fighting, Dignitas, I don't think they can take the 5v5s that easily.
Or another option, you could say, well, we're doing so far all right. I mean, without even Black, maybe Black just goes at Yasha and keep on farming. It's a very, very fast farming item. Gives you a very, very powerful late game. I think Mouz could do whatever they want at this point. The big difference in these fights is that Templar Assassin is the first hero to go down for Dignitas, or one of the first heroes to go down. When she goes down quick, no traps. And I mean, Darkseer's not really a hero when you don't have that big frontal damage output from the TA.
Well, Dignitas, as we've seen them do before, not afraid to try and make an early go into the Roche pit. They'll smoke up, they'll bring the Eidolons in, and with Meld and Eidolons, you can actually just solo Roche's Enigma. It does take a while, but it's possible. And, well, with TA here, they won't need to solo it. They'll be able to bring it down quite quickly. Already losing about 20% of its health, and Dignitas, this may be their avenue back into the game.
Well, but they're going to lose at least a tier 2 tower during that duration. Also, they might lose that tier 1 up top, so it's going to be a... In terms of gold graph, they're going to lose gold doing this, but it's going to help them win the next fight, or at least give them an edge in doing so, because TA really needs that Aegis. He's dying every time he's joining these fights, so it's a very interesting decision you're making in terms of going for these trades, but it's the one that Dignitas made, and let's see if it's going to work out.
Yeah, in the end, they will go for the trade. The tier 2 bottom isn't falling yet. Black may look to go on it middle lane, the action picking up quick, but has managed to cog Universe in, and he will go down. A hook set that one up. And now, potentially working towards a 4-staff, or maybe just the straight Ags. We'll have to see. The Staff of Wizardry picked up, but generally you'd start with the point boost if you're going Ags. So either way, It's giving up a lot. They also give up the kill. And Snakey, he does have Aegis, so, I mean, on one hand, it's like now he can be more aggressive, but on the other hand, I do feel if he dies once, he's dying twice.
It depends if his allies is there. Every time that he dies, his allies is going to try to run.
Oh, Fata.
Testing out that hand, see if it's okay right now. It's looking good. It always scares me because sometimes you just mess it up and then...
One of these days, that's going to happen, and it's going to cost the team a match. And
I'm going to laugh.
I think you'll never see it again after that happens. But until that day, we'll definitely see it.
Tier 2 tower is going to get denied a bot, which is fine. I mean, that's more goals still going to Mouz Sports Pocket. They're leading by quite a bit. And of course, Magnus picking up his own blink. So despite Magnus getting somewhat owned in the laning stage, now doing quite alright. Mouz Sport together leading by 5,000 gold. And they're looking to get that tier 1. That tier 1 is going to be very, very important. If you do get that kill on the tier 1, it suddenly makes AUI somewhat difficult to farm that jungle. And that's one thing that we noticed Dignitas loves to do, farm the jungle.
Oh, Blinken, skewering Snake came back into a Hex, into a Monolith as well. Remember, he's got Aegis, so going on him now I think would be a mistake to commit to it fully. But with the hook there, oh no, Qualifier hooks a creep. He's still coming in. I don't know about this. Oh, he forced that back. He just picked it up. And as a result, what could have been a horrible overextension ends up being no big deal. You mentioned the blink of Magnus, Lumi. What I'm really worried about if I'm Dignitas, I don't think they realize it, but if Post gets a blink, he could have one at 16, 17, 18 minutes if there's a couple of kills going his way. And that would be a disaster. Suddenly, it's Clockwork who can hook in, Fata who can blink RP, and Post. 3 ridiculously strong initiators to start the fight.
Yeah, he doesn't even need a blink right now because there's so much initiation already, but if he gets one, well, suddenly everybody is not safe from Team Dignitas side. And again, like you pointed out multiple times, it's been 4v5. I mean, Tiny was forced to TP in to aid his teammates. Black still, merely rising away now in his own jungle. What does he pick up on the courier? It is going to be... the courier not working. It's going to be diffusibly as Stalshia was taking up the slot. So, yeah, it looks like he wants to take this fight mid-game straight up to Dignitas.
Oh, they popped the Aegis mid, and they're going to look to go again. The RP was not used, and not going to actually commit to that, but Aegis down for basically nothing.
Yeah. So that trade that they gave up a tier 1 tower and a lot of damage on that tier 2 tower not working out because they're not winning a fight because of it. So a further and further hole digging for themselves. Mouz Sport looking to even up the series because they have the better late game. And so far they're winning the early game as well, the mid game as well.
Oh! Fata was just 0.1 seconds late there. TP's bottom, blinks in RPs, but isn't going to find the opening. And now mid lane, this could be a really bad fight, but maybe not. Without with the finger of death there, suddenly a great fight. Qualifier just toying with Dignitas, making them think they can go on him, but in fact they couldn't. They lose the Rubik, they get nothing in return, and the RP was blown, but it's one of those games where I don't really feel like RP is an essential ability. Maybe later on, but not right now. It's just, RP, if you hit it, you get an extra kill. If you don't, it's not like you're in desperate danger or dire straits.
Exactly. RP is one of those, it's more of a more or less a ganking tool, and that's exactly how they've been using it so far. Sure, you might get a little bit afraid if the upcoming team fight and they have RP, but for the most part, you expect them to generally have the RP. I think the bigger worry right now is the line. I take back what I said during the drafting stage about how line might not be the pickup. When you have an early game like this, what is the score? 3-0 on 7? Man, that river fight really made this hero work. Needs a level, got the level. Now got his important spells maxed out. Working, probably even gonna take a single point to that Monolith and start being very annoying to some of these heroes on Team Dignitas. And he's close to that blink. He's gonna have it. Like you said, 17-minute, 16-minute blink.
That's... For anyone who hasn't seen Lion play as a support before, that is insanely fast. This is not a great farming hero. Impale's alright for farming, it's not great. You generally don't get your mana drain, so you can't spam Impale freely at the earlier levels without the stats, without the arcane boots. He will get caught out though. Oh, he's just got the blink. Buy your blink dagger, my friend. It's time.
Buy it.
No, he doesn't even need it. They're not even going to go on him because Fanta's here. In fact, Fanta wants to chase. Hook. Fishing, but not finding the target was Qualifier. Did he buy the blink? He did. I thought maybe he's going to go for something else since he took so long, but he will go Blink in the end. And Blink Lion is just too good in my book. Like, sure, you might die. It might not always save you when there's a gank, but having that ability to just initiate from 1200 range with a Blink and a Hex, that is devastating, especially for a hero like TA, who if she doesn't have Refraction up, is just food.
Yeah, one of the saddest things playing as a Lion is to die without casting every one of your spells because they're so high impact. It's almost as a carry dying with a Midas not being used. It's very similar to that vein. when Blink allows you to use everything, and you talked about the mobility of Clockwork, he has a Force Staff as well, right? So your entire team is as mobile as heck. And of course, once a Phantom Lancer gets recalled into a fight, he's going to be very mobile as well, because he's going to have Doppel Walk, 15% increase in movement speed. He's going to have a Yasha on top of that very, very soon. And that Diffusal Blade will slow a person down. So I don't expect Team Dignitas to win any big engagement unless they hit those big black hole. But Way Too Sexy right now is on the run.
Let's be honest, you're not hitting a big black hole this game. Maybe once you have your Blink, maybe once you have your BKB, but even then there's still RP and there's Hook, and particularly the RP, a pretty decent way to cancel the black hole. Depending on where the black hole is placed, you can walk up behind the Enigma and just look to RP him, and we'll see. I mean, even if he hits the black hole, and before he gets the BKB, there's the Blink Hex, there's the Blink Impale, there's the Hook, as I already mentioned, and the Cogs too, so maybe they rely on it. I just don't see it happening now. Maybe when the BKB's up in like 5 minutes, but before that, almost certainly not.
I mean, the cool thing about this lane synergy or hero synergy is that he's not reliant to hit a 5-man black hole, because as long as he's laid down that black hole on 2 or 3 heroes, the vacuum could actually get the other 2 or 3 back in. So
that's true. If it's not canceled, I feel there's too many ways to cancel it right now.
And that's the big thing. It's easily canceled. So you imagine a Templar Assassin as well as Tiny have to eat a couple of those, stuns and disruptions and all that stuff. But the problem is, it doesn't matter if you get a 4-second black hole if your carries are not doing any damage. That's this big difference between, let's say, a Magnus, who will drop a 3 or 4-man RP and still do damage by himself. So we'll see how it turns out here for Way Too Sexy.
Yeah, and for the moment, those carries aren't doing a whole lot of damage. Snake King been forced to go towards a BKB, so that'll delay his damage. As for AUI 2000, almost has his Aghanim Scepter, but even then, it's not the Ags that... He doesn't have a Wisp on his side either. We talked about the sort of the benefits of going for this, this Treads Ags build is you get a little extra attack speed, but really the Ags Rush works a lot better when you have the attack speed of a Wisp, because what we saw, I think it was yesterday, it was AUI even went straight into a Daedalus after that, or at least a Chrysalis if I recall correctly. He's going to need a lot more attack speed than what he's getting, so we may even see him be forced to go for the Manta first in this game, and I mean, just getting the farm is going to be tough. When all the lanes are being pressured, whenever you're farming, you need 3 or 4 heroes behind you, or you have to see them on the map. They might catch Black here. He'll actually doppelwalk out in the nick of time. And Dignitas, they'll find a tier 1 bottom, but Mouz are looking at a much tastier tier 2 mid, and also the last outer tower for Dignitas this game.
Yeah, if you're Team Dignitas, it's not a trade what you want to make, but hey, you're getting your first tower of the game. Is that it? 20-minute first tower. Man, Dignitas is so damn far behind. But they're gonna try to get a little bit more here. But I think the TP is gonna come, and that's gonna be it, because Alex is gonna port his entire team in.
Well, he'll start just by bringing in one teammate, it looks like, and the Illuminate comes out, pushing the way back. Dignitas into the jungle. They'll continue to farm, and I don't think they're out of this game yet. I just feel like Mouz, they have all the initiative, and Dignitas have none. So the thing is, we haven't really seen them abuse that initiative in quite some time. It's now been, I think, a good 5 minutes since there's been much action. Maybe a kill here or there, but not much beyond that. Black is free farming. He will have Empower at his side, so he will be able to farm faster and scale harder into the late game. I don't know if Dignitas can actually take a really fat PL, because the rate that Black is farming, he's ahead and he'll stay far ahead of AUI for a long time. A max slot Tiny can probably deal with the PL, or at least come closer than almost any other carry, aside from maybe a Gyro with a Divine Rapier, but getting to that point is going to take him forever.
Yeah, he has to get there, and also he has to pray, because I think the only way they could win a team fight is somehow Aoi gets a 2-3 big Daedalus crit in somewhere of these team fight and just kill half a team. But that you're praying at that instant, and that's very, very far off. He does have his Acceptor finished, so not only is he doing a ton more damage, he's also farming a lot quicker. It's very similar to finishing, let's say, a Battle Fury on your anti-mage. And, you always have to vacuum into 3-4-man Black Hole, into Avatars, and everybody dead scenario, but I don't see that happening, to be honest.
Well, anything is possible until it's all said and done, and the Fat Lady hasn't sung just yet, so we march onwards. Black continue to farm the enemy Ancients and get a little additional gold that way. Looks like he may make a go on the bottom lane. Just gonna at least harass Universe. Could potentially kill him off here. He'll actually be forced to teleport out. Might even die. No, not enough illusions, but that's pretty scary and pretty unfortunate. Universe is going Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I like this pickup. I looked at Way Too Sexy, who doesn't normally build a mech, has picked one up, and Darkseer hasn't had a single item. Generally, you expect things like Arcane Mech, Arcane Pipe at this point in the game. it came Blink. So I think he is going to be that secondary support initiator coming in from Dignitas. You said they don't have initiative. It's going to be Black Hole into Blink Vacuum, or Blink Vacuum into Wall and Black Hole. So now they have a lot better team fight. And if Fog could steal an RP, well, that's, you know, the team fight going towards them. AUI got to be careful.
Hook.
He gets hooked on the mid lane, and Blink, finger, bam. Easy.
Not even a chance. They all rotated in. The 3 supports, utility hero and the Darkseer, they trot towards that gank. Not there in time. And now the Blink Dagger's revealed. So, well, he may still have the counter initiation, but the secret of the Blink Dagger no longer a secret. And they'll go into Roche, it looks like, off of this.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough for the Dire to challenge it. There is quite a bit of war vision coming in, so unless there's a big smoke, and you can't really smoke this because it's completely obvious, I think they just give it up flat out because they need Aoi, and he's dead for 20 seconds. Way Too Sexy does have a teleport scroll, but maybe he's just looking for that BKB.
It's one thing PL isn't particularly gifted at, killing off Roshan, because your illusions don't help you versus Roche. They can tank Roche, but when they're spawning in the pit, they just instantly start to attack them and they will die. So I'll get it in the end. Without Tiny, I just don't think they can take it wisely. They won't even try to. They'll draw some TPs back top lane. They'll at least prevent Mouz from coming straight down mid off of this. And I don't think Mouz is in any hurry, but if I were them, I think you look for the PL to get the next item or two. Maybe Black gets his heart, potentially his butterfly. I wouldn't wait longer than that, because that's where Dignitas will start to get some items up, most likely.
Yeah, but the farm difference is just... I mean, we're looking at 7,500 gold, and I don't see this chart going anywhere, because sure, they lost the Roshan. Generally, you say, all right, we're going to lose the Roche. Let's get something in return. They didn't even get a tier 1 mid or top, so... they got nothing in return, and...
Lumi, I don't know how I feel about this. He's going for a Shadow Blade. I've actually... The last time I saw a Shadow Blade Magnus, it got to a point in the game... Oh, he's got it now, so never mind going for it. He has it. Last time I saw this, the Magnus really wished he had a BKB about 10 minutes later. We'll see if that comes to pass, but... Shadow Blade Magnus, so... I guess just the threat of him showing up, maybe trying to put a support tax onto these Dignitas 4 and 5 position players. Hoping they'll buy some extra sentries, maybe a gem, but... Shadowblade Magnus, I'm personally not really a big fan, but we'll see if Fata can make it work.
Yeah, I'm personally not a big fan of it either. You already have Skewer and Blink, that's enough mobility. I'd rather to see you to tank up or get an item that helps your team a little bit more. BKB is definitely an option, maybe drums if you want a little bit cheaper option.
AUI.
Big trouble right now, but they're gonna turn it around. Blink, lift, Black, can he actually go down? RP's gonna come through, that's 4! And where's the Skewer? Well, there's gonna be a couple of right clicks here, and suddenly everybody is dead. They're gonna turn back here, but here comes the Lances. They have Purge as well. Purge him off! Yes, they do. And Universe, they're not gonna make that chase, but very, very good comeback here from Fata.
Well, he had a little extra damage from that Shadowblade. Maybe it made the difference between getting 1 or 2 kills. I don't think it did, but, you know, certainly didn't hurt him there. So in the end, Shadowblade or not, making things happen, and Black lives, has the Aegis. That's big for Mouz, because it means potentially, during the duration of this single Aegis, they can actually look to go high ground. I don't think they will. I think they're more likely to wait for the next one, but if they want to go with this one, the option is still there.
Yeah, I just want to look back in my memory and think about the last 5 or 6 times that Team Dignitas has picked a Tiny. I don't think they've won any single game. It's just, I don't think they're playing bad, particularly in this game either. It's just, for whatever reason, Aoi can't win with Tiny.
Well,
he's a great Tiny player.
He started off like 17 or 19-0 on Tiny in his Tiny career, but this will be his 3rd loss in a row. I want to say maybe his 4th in a row if he goes on to lose it. So you can't argue with them picking the hero. They've had the results early, but now it's starting to become a bit of a slump. And you can't necessarily say that hero's the reason, because I don't really think it is this game. I feel like for Dignitas it was just much better movement of their supports and superior execution from Mouz. But we'll see. The Tiny certainly isn't doing much now.
Yeah, he's going to be going for Yasha to get a little bit of movement speed to compete with the insane mobility of the Radiant team. But eventually, he has to go Blacking Bar, whether he likes it or not. Sure, it doesn't block Hogs, no, it doesn't block RP, but that line on the map with the Blade Dagger, you just have to go BKB. But, well, I think he's a couple items away from that. He wants Yasha, probably going to go into crit afterwards, and then BKB. So he's multiple items away, and that's never a position that you want to be as a carry going against the Lion.
That's the beauty of the Lion, is doesn't matter that there's a mag where maybe BKB isn't the best choice. Because there's a Lion, you have to get one. So that's an item slot that you have to devote to this item that doesn't scale particularly well. Later on in the game, when the charges get lower and lower, it's not really the most effective item, and AUI might get caught top. Here's your Shadow Blade. Fonta's gonna come in, catches him out, skewers in. The RP not being used just yet. He's just saying hi. Now the Avalanche will come. The RP will be blown. The backup is here. Comes in the form of Paz. Will he fall on the finger of death? Indeed he will. Dominating for Paz, the little lion getting some love. And for the Shadow Blade plays off there. It helps them set up that kill, so does seem to be working. A decent map control item. I don't know if I think a Force Staff does the same thing. A BKB probably gonna help you more later, but hey, for now it's working.
Needs to TP out Meg into a straight TP. Black doesn't have that damn job, but I say that his Illusion Army almost got the kill. Way too sexy. Please micro your. Well, too late now. He just gave PL.
There's no micro in your illusions. The PL's gonna run those down with a Manta style Tranquil Boots.
I mean, that's a statement in general, because I saw Way Too Sexy just feed all 6 Eidolons into Illuminate earlier on as well. He, I guess, just forgets about them.
Well, maybe he didn't see the Keeper of the Light. I don't know, man. It's one of those games where I don't think the Eidolons are going to make the difference. Universe gets caught. What a beautiful Blink Skewer by Fata. Universe able to run. Oh, boy. Qualifier just keeps on finding teammates in the way with these hooks. Not really where he wants them to be, but it's all good. In the end, Mouse Sports, they're controlling the map, and even if Dignitas aren't dying, they aren't farming either.
Yeah. AUI's been sitting on that Bands of Elven skin for a long time. Let me tell you, Bands of Elven skin don't do too much for you in a team fight.
Yeah, it's just buy something now, because this is a sign that you're losing. When you have to buy an item like this, instead of at least the Blade of Alacrity first, it's because you're losing. Oh, not again! A Blink Skewer catches out Snakey, who has a BKB, but the cogs are there. Now Universe vacuums 2 out of the cogs. The Impale is going to miss. The Hex was there! Lion with the secondary way to deny that. Big black hole, and without the BKB, no way to find it. Quick on the run, but the finger! Paz is doing so much work in these fights right now. Black comes in, late to the party, but not too late for some kills. RP on Snake King. No RP to steal because Rubik is dead. Black mauling him, brings that TA down. The King is looking to get decrowned, at least in this game, and Fanta will get tossed up and thrown back down. But if it costs AUI his life, you can't really call it a great trade. Buyback from Fanta, Lumi, they're gonna get 4, and they want to end the game right now.
They definitely can end the game here. Black so tanky with that heart and Manta being finished. He didn't even need to pop Manta in that fight. And now the army being created in front of that big creep wave. Manta is going to get popped, and well, there goes the bot racks for sure. One thing I do know for sure about Team Dignitas is that they're a very emotional team. They will let their teammates know that they're not feeling well. And losing a big game like this, 21-3, I cannot imagine how the Skype or Vent or Mumble, whatever they're using, is feeling right now. I'm not sure whether that will affect their Game 3 performance. I gotta imagine it would.
Yeah, this is going to be a team wipe inside of the shadow of their tier 4s, and the GGs may not come now. They may be still talking over this game, but you know they are coming, and indeed they do. It will be Mouse Sports, who strike back with an equally convincing game 2 to match the one that Dignitas put up earlier. So Dignitas, they start this series 14-1 with a 19-minute GG, and Mouse answer back with a 24-3, 31-minute GG of their own. A slightly different pace, but a similar level of domination, and for this best of 3, it's going the distance. It's headed to a game 3. Will it be an equally one-sided game 3, or will it be more back and forth? We'll find out. Lumi, who do you think's gonna take it?
I'll tell you once the draft is over. I don't know.
That's a cop-out, man. That's a cop-out.
It's like flipping a coin. You don't know who's gonna fuck up with the draft.
All right, all right. Well,
all right. If I gun to my head, I'm gonna go with Dignitas.
Okay, well, take that. There you go. I'll go with Mouse just to be contrary to you. And I mean, I think the beat on tilt could be an issue for Dignitas because the way they lost this game was, frankly, I mean, for a team that plays as well as they do, they have to look at it and say we're really freaking upset and disappointed in our performance this game. And when it's all said and done, they get absolutely thrashed, losing by over 20k gold, 20k experience. When it ends, Mouse Sports, they tie it up. It's now 1-1. The series resets, and it will come down to that deciding game 3. I'm LD, he's Lumi. You're watching the G1 Champions League, brought to you by Beyond the Summit. Stay tuned. Our deciding game 3 coming up right after this.